we go to a thought here on one Bill O'Brien, who is in here at Alabama, first-year offensive coordinator, 51 years of age, taking over for the departed Steve Sarkisian, who is with the Texas Longhorns. And I know it's been only I know it's only been 5 to 6 fall camp practices thus far, but the players are buying into O'Brien's scheme. They're buying into O'Brien's philosophy. They like what he's doing. They're feeling what he's doing. They are vibing with Coach O'Brien is having them do, out there on the field. I remember John Mechie, Alabama wide receiver John Mechie, he said this at SEC Media Days. He's even stated this thus far in player interviews during preseason camp. He does not see this offense taking a back seat. He does not see this offense dropping off. He does not see this offense being less than what it was in 2020 under Sarkisian. As a matter of fact, he sees it either on the same level as the offense from last year or possibly even better. He really likes what Bill O'Brien is doing. Mechie really likes what O'Brien is implementing. He really enjoys the high intellect that O'Brien brings to the table. And it's not just Mechie. You look at Bryce Young, the first-year starting quarterback for the Crimson Tide. He is excited about collaborating with O'Brien. He is excited about the opportunity to pick his mind, pick his brain, work with him on the field, building that trust, building that connection, building that chemistry, building that camaraderie between, offensive coordinator and quarterback. So Bryce Young is juiced up, to work with O'Brien. And then you've got Chris Owens on the offensive line at the center position, a sixth-year player. He basically said, look, Coach O'Brien's amazing. I kind of equate him to myself in terms of personality. He has high football intelligence, just a genius of a guy. He's already got the quarterbacks in terms of their pre-snap and post-snap reads and development and, progressions and targeting guys. He's got all the quarterbacks, developed to, high caliber already happening in a preseason camp. And he also mentioned how O'Brien is holding everybody accountable. He holds us accountable in executing the play. He holds us accountable in getting things done on the field. He holds us accountable in looking after our fellow teammate, our fellow guy out there on the field. And just getting back to something O'Brien mentioned in terms of the quarterbacks and the Alabama offense here, he's not trying to change the Crimson Tide offense. He just wants to enhance it and add his spin on there a little bit. But just looking at what he's done here with the quarterbacks, you're seeing more zip on the football, whether it's Bryce Young, whether it's Paul Tyson, whether it's Jalen Milroe. You're seeing the guys being able to make those crisp movements and maneuvers on the bootlegs, moving up within the pocket, showing that footwork, having that ball out there quick, having that ball out there in time, in stride, on target, to where these guys are catching it, tuck, go, get up and down the field, and have the mindset on getting those yards after the catch, making those explosive plays. You're also seeing these quarterbacks mix speeds with the football. That's another thing O'Brien is doing. Not just having that fastball, that heater where you can gun the ball in there with velocity, but also mix it up a little bit. Have that change-up type pitch where those guys can run up under it, like a center fielder, make that catch and get off to the house there, putting different speeds, different spins, different motions there on the football, so you can be able to lead these guys with pinpoint accuracy and precision. So loving that aspect from Coach O'Brien. But as always, when you're a new coordinator, when you're a new coach coming into Alabama, you're always compared to the predecessor, the guy leaving the program, or the guy that was once there. And I know we don't like comparisons. We can't stand them. But subconsciously, we can't help ourselves because we always want to know, who does that player remind you of? Who does that coach remind you of? Who does that person remind you of? We are subconsciously, making comparisons. So when you look at Coach O'Brien, he has to come behind a long list, or a quality list, as I should say, of coordinators offensively since 2014. in the Nick Saban era, you're coming behind Lane Kiffin, Brian Daboll, Michael Locksley, and of course Steve Sarkisian. And when you look at just the production of all these guys, Kiffin came in 2014, gave the offensive facelift there. Saban wanted that change, and with Kiffin, those 3 years, 2014 to 16, Alabama averaged 36.9 points per game. Then Brian Daboll comes in 2017, has one season. He does more of that aerial vertical passing attack thing, with Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Hurts. With Daboll, Alabama averaged 37.1 points per game. Then 2018, here comes Michael Locksley in here, and he really takes the RPO offense through the roof. And in that year, the term joyless murder ball. We all remember that term. Joyless murder ball was born under Coach Locks. And Locks in his one season, Alabama averaged 45.6 points per game offensively. And then 2019 and 2020, the last 2 years under Steve Sarkisian, he just elevated that thing. Alabama averaged over 47 points per game. This past season, the Crimson Tide under Sarkisian averaged 48.5 points per game, the most ever in the Nick Saban era. That was a team that in its 13 games, 11 of those, it put up at least 40 points. It had games where it scored 50 and 60 at will. So that was just fun times there for you as Bama fans watching that offense. So Bill O'Brien knows what he's up against. He knows what he has to face. He knows the guys that came before him and what they did and what he has to do to kind of match that or go above and beyond. But it's really awesome seeing how the players are paying attention to him. The players have bought into him. The players have been vibing with him. The players, are seeing his philosophy and are really enjoying, what he is putting together.